So, back to the technology show. It is the technology show where we translate geek into regular speak. I'm Brett Levy. I'm your host this week. So it has been a while since I've done the show. I can give you the normal excuses of school holidays, bad weather. I did actually get sick. That's not a lie. I spent most of last weekend in bed. So I am a bit nasal still in that. I apologize, especially for those that are listening and not watching. Awesome fun show today. I have got a Things with a Z review, which I'll be starting off with, like I always do, a little bit of tech news. And I have another in-studio guest. I'm really taking advantage of working in the We Love studio. Or I should say the We Love group, We Love Marketing. So shout out to Kylie for helping me set up again today. Let's get into the show. So, boom. So Things with a Z, what have we got? I've been playing with the Belkin SoundForm Isolate Noise Cancelling over-ear headphones. That is a mouthful. So I'm just going to say the Belkin headset for the rest of the show, but that is their formal name. Now, these aren't going to break the bank, but let's see how they do with regards to sound and, more importantly, breaking the sound barrier. Now, out the box, the Belkin Isolates present themselves as they're rather unassuming. I'm just going to put it out there. They don't look like anything that you haven't seen before. They're not flashy, but they are solid, which is probably the most important thing when it comes to over-the-ear headsets, especially when they're portable. The build is sturdy. You can take them anywhere you want to go. They do fold up compactly. I'm not sure if you're watching the show, I might have a slide of them actually in fold mode, which is nice if you just throw them in your bag or something like that. They don't come with a fancy carrying case. A lot of people have this expectation that when you buy hardware, it comes in a really cool case. But for price point, we will forgive them for a naked headphone. And I don't always talk about price, but I'll bring that up a bit later and you can see why. There were two colors in the range, there are two colors in the range. There's a black and then there's this sand color. If you're watching the show, that is the sand color. That's the pair that I received. And Gail's already told me that she's going to usurp them because they match your hair color. So yeah, thanks David for sending me the wrong color. Next time make it black, mate. Anyway, but yeah, so you can match your mood, match your outfit, or in Gail's case, match your hair. I'm not a tech fashionista. I'm happy with any color or black. Now, as I said, I don't normally talk cost on the show for various reasons, and in fact, I'll address the reasons because I get asked that question all the time. You can buy from an official site, and there's benefits to buying from an official site. You can buy from Amazon, you can buy from third parties, and those price points will vary all over the place. So, I don't want to say, oh, it was $49.99, and then someone comes onto the show and goes, oh, actually, we couldn't find it for that price. So I leave price alone, but I did price check these on the official Belkin website. They are $89.95. Now, if you let that sink in for a second, given that I said there's no case, just for an over-the-ear headset to pay $90, you're already looking at a bit of a winner there. So, comfort. Now, it doesn't matter how good earphones sound, right? If they don't feel good and they feel like your head is in a vice grip, it's just not going to be something that you use. They have a technology called Cloud Cushion, and in the ear cups, they're like really soft and spongy. I'm seeing with my hand going like soft and spongy for those that are listening. And they really are. I must say that I put them on for pretty much a whole day. I never felt like I needed to take them off, but I could feel that they were there. So I'm going to use the word snug, not uncomfortable. If you did go for a whole day, I don't think you're going to take them off at the end of the day and go, oh my God, my head feels like it's being crushed. So again, good comfort, nice padding. There is a padding bar along the top as well, so it doesn't sit heavy on your head. If you're watching the show, you'll see we're in studio. I mean, I'm using professional headsets here. We've got a padding bar on the side. We've got big cups on over the ears. The Belkins don't feel any different. So from a comfort point of view, no worries at all. I just lost one of my notes now because I tried to click the wrong screen. So this is the joys of having two screens. Okay. So I always do the Kristen Hirsch sound thing. It's a thing I've been doing for years. If you watch my show, then you'll know what the Kristen Hirsch sound bar is. And basically, there's a song called Your Ghost, and when it plays, it's got this really, really deep, long bass inside it, and a lot of headsets can't hear it. So that's my Kristen Hirsch model. I give it a very respectable 7.5, and my scale goes to 10. So on the Kristen Hirsch, you get the 7.5. Um, what else have we got? Okay, accessories. Now, again, this is the other reason I mentioned the price point. You've got comfort, you've got 60 hours of battery life without ANC, 40 hours with ANC. Um, then you get two different cables in the box. So you get a USB-C cable for charging, and you can connect with it as well. But you also get a 3.5 millimeter, which is refreshing because you can actually hardwire the headset as well if you want. So that's pretty cool. Something that I haven't seen a lot of top-end headsets. It has multi-point Bluetooth connectivity. So if you don't know what that means, it means that you can connect it to your devices at the same time. So let's say you're working on your laptop, and then you've also got to connect it to your phone. Your phone rings. You would normally have to take off your headset, pick up your phone, and onto the phone. You can literally just onto your phone, and the headset will automatically switch across. It actually pauses the song that you were listening to on your Mac as well, if you're watching content or anything like that. So that's pretty cool. And again, this is not a feature that you always see in, let's be honest, a budget headset. I mean, sub $100 is budget. Um, the other thing that they have is called the isolate effect. Now, this was very cool, and I haven't seen this feature on a headset before. So, a lot of the times, if you're working and you want to be inside an active noise canceling environment just to lock out the outside world, um, a lot of people will play white noise instead of playing music or listening to a podcast. It has a built-in ocean wave sound, so you've got the sounds of the ocean playing. So, because I actually don't like white noise, that's why I'm bringing it up. I'll either listen to music or something that's just like there to lock me out, or in fact, you can actually put a headset on and put nothing on. As long as your ANC is activated, it will still lock out most of the noise that goes around. But this ocean effect is awesome. So you can like get all zenny and relaxed and chilled out without actually paying attention to what's playing on the headset. That's built in. So, all in all, ANC, long life battery. I didn't put it through the full 60 hours or 40 hours, by the way. And just on that note with batteries, I never ever advocate for draining a battery. I know people want to test it and want to go, oh, how far did it go? Um, Lithium ion is not designed to be drained. That's why they ship half full. It takes a lot more energy to take a battery from 0 to 25% anyway. I always advocate to keep your devices at 50% or above. In fact, if you're working on a laptop, keep it plugged in unless you're mobile. So, yeah, I would never know the full extent, but Belkin is a reputable company. I don't think they'd put those numbers out there if they weren't accurate. That brings me to the end of my Belkin. Oh, let's give it the full name one more time. So it is the Belkin SoundForm Isolate Noise Cancelling Over-Ear Headphones. Right. So let's move on to tech news. What have we got here? Grok had a little bit of a conniption this last week. So if you don't know what Grok is, it's Elon Musk's AI bot. It praised Hitler and it posted anti-Semitic content, which was, yeah, given that Elon had just announced that a significant improvements to his bot, and it highlighted the ongoing challenges of controlling AI behavior, and then that happened. So I think the lesson here is that, bots are cool, tech's cool, but you still need a human to kind of control it a little bit, especially if you're going to let it just go out. Aria is listening to the show. So for those of you that have met Aria before as my previous co-host and business partner, there is no one on this planet that has more headphones or headsets or plays with headsets than this guy. So, yeah, Aria, you would like it, mate. It's definitely a great headset. Back to tech news. So that was Grok. What else we got? I am staying with AI, and there's a reason for it. So AI performed the first autonomous gallbladder removal on a human model. The company, I think it's called SRTH. It's John Hopkins, and John Hopkins is a famous hospital. They're always doing like cool stuff and new stuff. But they did a full gallbladder removal on a hyper-realistic human model. So they didn't do it on a real human. Um, but this isn't just about assisting surgeons. This is actually about a robot autonomously executing a very complex surgical procedure. So it'll be interesting to see how these AI trained bots help us in the future. But I mean, even more importantly, imagine, I've always thought of scenarios like you're on an airplane, something goes wrong. You always watch on the movies, right? Is there a doctor on the plane, etc.? Imagine if they could have a bot that was now part of the crew on an aeroplane, that if something went wrong or an appendix burst or I don't know, whatever medical mode, even a heart attack, it could actually take over and do what it needs to. Maybe they'll have this like little sterile room, especially private planes. Anyway, moving on. E-ink displays. Now, I'm a very big fan of e-ink for multiple reasons. Besides the fact that you can read on your Kindle, the battery life on e-ink is impressive. Like, there's a lot of watches. I think Garmin is one that still uses it. They use an e-ink display as opposed to an LCD, and you can get like 7 or 8 days before you have to charge. Whereas if you use any other smartwatch, one of the Android or Apple watches, you're getting a day at best. But they've now moved into posters, car displays, so like your dashboard on your car. So it's quite interesting to watch this space. There's been a lot of developments. It'll bring the prices down. I used to do a lot of work with TCL. They launched the Next Paper range, which was a tablet and a phone that used an e-ink technology, so it doesn't hurt your eyes. And then e-ink is also energy efficient as well, so just bear that in mind. And then the last bit of news is NVIDIA has become the first company to hit the US $4 trillion mark. There's not really much to say on this, except that I'm stoked that I have NVIDIA shares. And I bought them quite a long time ago. I actually read the book, The NVIDIA Way or the NVIDIA Story, a couple of months ago, and it's quite a good read as to how he started and what he did or didn't do, and he's still the CEO today. And I think he's worth like $129 billion or something like that. But yeah, so maybe we might see the next $5 trillion company coming up. But I would have thought Apple or Google would have been the ones to hit 4 first, but NVIDIA. Now, all of these AI stories and things that I've shared with today was actually for a reason, and that is because as I said at the beginning of the show, I have a guest that's joining me in studio. I'm going to bring him into the studio. His name is Jacob Banks. He's the CEO and founder of Sophiie AI. I have to spell Sophiie. It's Sophiie. I will put a ticker up as well, but let's bring Jacob into the show. You should be in there now. Jacob, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Brett.
Cool. Might need to come a little bit closer there to the mic. So I can yeah, I'm picking up now. That's great. Jacob, yeah, thanks for coming through. And I try to put a couple of AI stories just to lead us in. Sophiie AI, give us the overview, mate. Tell us all about her.
Okay, so Sophiie is an AI office manager.
Yeah.
She's designed to eliminate admin and grow revenue, specifically for service-based businesses. And from first inquiry, so think phone calls, emails, text messages, web forms, chatbot, through to final invoice completely done for you, removing as much of the human out of the loop as possible.
Well, that's a good overview. I can say that everything that Jacob has just said is true. So I had the privilege of being able to play with her. That sounds dodge, mate. I got to play with her for the last couple of weeks, or it's actually been a good 3-4 weeks. Sorry, Sophiie. But yeah, I mean, you and the team kindly set up an account for me to use. And for the people that are listening, and well, I don't have any slides up on Sophiie anyway. It's a virtual assistant. But for the people listening or watching the show, even, in fact, I do have a slide for the people that are watching. I can bring that back up. There's a dashboard. Where is it? Let me bring that. I thought I had a slide. No. Don't you love tech when it doesn't work? I thought I had a slide. Sorry. But it's basically a dashboard. If you think of a CRM, like HubSpot or anything else, where all your appointments, your contacts, your calendar, your notes on the people that you deal with and your customers are there. So you got this single pane of glass view of what's happening with regards to people that are engaging with your business at that moment in time. Would you say that was a pretty accurate description of what the dashboard looks like?
Yeah, that's for sure.
But Sophiie she's magic. It's the only way I can say that. Bottom line is, we got quite a few comments through. I've been getting Sophiie ads and Meta, great looking product and fun ads. That's from Ross. Thanks, Ross.
Thank you, Ross.
And
we are smashing Meta at the moment.
Oh, my CEO is listening to the show all the way from New Zealand. He says, I know a few using this. Yeah. Hey, Michael. Michael, I need you to meet Jacob when you get back, mate. Anyway, let me get back to the show. So I've been playing with Sophiie, and it's absolutely incredible. So what happens is you get a dedicated phone number. So you give that to your customers. The customer makes a call. Sophie answers the call. Very polite, does not sound robotic in any way, shape, or form. And you go, I'm phoning to find out more about X. And she goes, okay, I'm glad to help you. And what's happened is you've kind of set up your company, right? So I set up the company, what we do, what our services are. And then she's obviously learned from that because like I'm looking for marketing. She goes, oh, cool. We Love Marketing can help you with that. This is what we do. These are services. And I'm like, this is pretty impressive. Now, I mean, I know this because I wrote it, but I'm like listening. I'm going, this is pretty impressive. She goes, and then can I get someone to give you a call? So yeah, that's great. Asked me for my phone number, asked me for my email address, took it all down, asked me to confirm it. And I got an email confirming that someone from the company was going to give me a call. And then when you look in the dashboard, there it is. And it says, please call Jacob, you know?
So you've got in there, you've got the key points, the summary, the
Yeah.
transcript, the recording of the call. Excuse me. We've got a custom CRM as well, inbuilt custom CRM, as well as invoicing, scheduling. So she can schedule to your calendar, making sure you don't clash your appointments. Plug it into Google Calendar or Outlook. It really doesn't matter. And she can kind of look across your whole business and run a lot of the admin of the business, which is kind of where we got the idea from. So the idea,
well, that was my question. Okay. I was about to say, where'd you get the idea from? So yeah, okay. Carry on.
So I had another startup. Well, it's not really a startup anymore. It's I got 35,000 customers. It's an online marketplace where we connect you to local verified trades and service providers. I spoke to, I think, over 10,000 business owners over the last 10 years.
Wow.
And it was the same issue every single time. Yep. They were great on the tools, but when it came to answering their phone calls, following up their customers, unpaid invoices, quotes, things like that, they absolutely sucked at it. So off the back of that, we set out to solve that problem for service-based businesses. And we've seen a huge influx of people, and we're helping businesses. Businesses are like so excited to get on board and give Sophiie a go. And when they see her in action, you just see their jaws drop. Like you said, it's almost like magic.
Well, this is the thing. So, I mean, we're on the show, right? And the one thing I do pride myself on is the fact that I'm honest. If I don't like a product, I'm going to tell you I don't like a product. I try to put it through the ringer, mate. I like really try to see if I could capture out. And I couldn't. Like there wasn't. She didn't get frustrated, obviously. Yeah. Like, and this is the thing as well. I'm not advocating to get rid of humans. Last time I checked, I was part of the species. But there's definitely things that we don't need people to do. You know, that people could be deployed more efficiently and doing other things. And for me personally, managing my diary or taking phone calls about appointments, that is definitely not something I want to do. I would outsource it. Doesn't matter who I outsource it to. But the big thing is I also forget. So the fact that someone can take the call and not get frustrated, right? Because I think that's also a critical thing. You know, we all busy, we all tense, we all have things to do. It's very easy to take it out on the person on the phone that's just trying to help you out. She didn't get upset with me, and I really did try. Like I was like, look, you're not listening to what I'm saying. It's like, I'm sorry about that. Maybe if you want to just rephrase the question, or can I get someone to call you? It was like, just calm demeanor. I was like, actually, Brett, you're being a bit of a dick. Just calm and simmer down.
We have built her to be polite. So, but she's got guardrails as well. And you can change things like scenarios or business details, anything like that. She can tag calls based on inquiries. So if it's, a car dealership, it could be a new car inquiry or a used car inquiry or a car service. She can tag it. She can transfer it to the relevant team members if needed.
Yep.
Effectively, you can do anything that a receptionist can do. But going back to your point about removing people from businesses, Sophie's not designed to remove any of your team from your business. It allows them to free up their time to focus working on the business rather than stuck in these micro admin tasks that eat up 80% of their day. I mean, an average business owner spends 16 hours a week just on micro admin tasks. So,
I can believe that. I mean, we all experience that. And that was the other thing as well, is that, I was sitting there thinking of use cases. I mean, tradies, this has to be absolutely perfect. When you're standing on the top of a roof, putting in a solar panel, and your phone rings, what do you do? Now, if it's a customer that's phoning, you don't want to miss that call. But equally, you don't want to try and put down a 20 kg panel to answer to have someone trying to sell you health insurance.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I mean, I was trying to do those type of calls when I was testing her as well. It was like to say, I need someone to call me. So, that's great. I'm going to get Brett to call you. We were talking off air. I was like, it was a bit weird. me being Brett, getting told that Brett was going to call me. But yeah, it was just it was a seamless experience. That's the only way I can describe it.
Yeah.
What that was an inbound scenario, right?
Mhm.
So take me through the journey. So I make a phone call to the number. Oh,
Mhm.
that was the other thing as well. You allocated me that number.
Mhm.
Can I allocate you a number? Like, can I give you a number and say use this number, or do you need to give me a number?
So you'll have your standard number, like your mobile number,
Yeah.
and then we redirect the allocated number to that number after how many calls. So you can do it. You can do it after 5 rings. You can do it after 10 rings. You can do it straight
Okay,
away.
got you.
So what happens is people will call your business number
Right.
like normal.
Okay.
And if you want Sophie to answer straight away, she can. If you want Sophie to answer after 5 rings, she can do that. And then it'll redirect to her. And the customer won't even know that it's being redirected.
So I was obviously I received the number and I was like, oh, okay, hold on a second. Now, do I have to change my number? And I've
No.
okay, got you. So that makes it so it's like forwarding, right?
Yep.
So
Exactly.
yeah, I mean, I was sitting there thinking, okay, great. So I'm on the roof. I missed the call, but now Sophie can do it. She can book the appointment as well.
Yep.
You said that as well. Does that integrate with third party, like a Google Calendar and that, or do I have to go back into my dashboard?
No, it integrates with Google Calendar, Microsoft Outlook, their native integrations.
Cool.
So you can use Google Calendar as your source of truth. Say you have a CRM that plugs in to Google Calendar.
Yep.
And then we plug into Google Calendar as well, and Google Calendar becomes a source of truth. On top of that, we've got a native Zapier integration. So we plug into about 1,100 different apps as well.
So it's going to be one of my questions as well.
Yeah.
Okay. So give me some of the use cases of where you would use the integrations. I mean, her function is to answer a call and maybe then triage to a point that it needs to go somewhere. Okay. So what kind of integrations are you finding are the most popular ones? And then that could obviously give us some of the use cases for companies.
Yeah, well, it's existing CRM. So a lot of customers have existing CRMs.
Okay.
Only about 50% of service-based businesses in Australia actually have a CRM.
Yeah, I found that out the other day. I was quite shocked.
Yeah, but the ones that do, we can integrate with that using Zapier.
Okay.
I mean, another thing we've discovered while creating Sophiie is there seems to be more CRMs than small businesses. Like there's just so many.
Yeah, I like. Yeah.
And to build a native integration to each one would be there for years trying to do that. So we've been able to do that through Zapier. And just like a range of different things. It is mainly the CRMs, but for the businesses that don't have a CRM, Sophie's got her own custom CRM. She's got her own custom calendar. She's got everything is custom on our side as well. So any business that doesn't have any of that, Sophie has that. And the reason we built that, it's probably a long way around, but for us to have an agent to work seamlessly across the whole process, we needed to kind of have our own system. Whereas if you set up an AI agent, and you're plugging it in with integrations and things like that, it's almost like I explain it like a Frankenstein agent. You're stitching this here and stitching that there, and eventually something can break. And if you don't kind of monitor it or maintain it, it can break. So we're going for that out of the box solution, plug and play for service-based business owners that don't have time to be on a computer and work out all the different integrations and models and things like that.
I can vouch for that. I mean, you even had a Kanban style where you could move the lead across from where I've contacted them to appointment set, and that I saw that as well.
Yeah, that's in the schedule, correct? Yeah.
So I mean, as you said, if you don't have a CRM, and especially I think if you're a solopreneur, this is perfect because you've got your assistant, then you've got all the tools that you need. What I don't remember, and maybe I didn't set it up because I'm that kind of guy. Is there a notification tool as well? Because I mean that was something I thought would be obvious, but I don't remember being notified that Brett phoned to speak to me.
So I've got notifications in the settings.
Yeah.
And you can either do it to your mobile as a text message or an email or both.
Okay.
And then once we release our app, which is coming, it'll be a push notification as well. So
that
you do have a notifications in the settings tab for sure.
Okay. Yeah, I saw it. I definitely saw it in the dashboard.
Yeah.
But I was like, I'd like my phone to let me know, or as I said, either text message, which brings me into the next question, right? So everything that I experienced with Sophie was inbound. I would phone in, she would process, triage, do the necessary things. I'm assuming she has the capability to make an outbound call.
Yeah.
Is that something that's currently available? Is that coming? How would that be different? And I'm not suggesting to make cold calls or anything like that, but use example. I'm on the roof. now Sophie phones me to go, hey, Brett, there's an urgent booking for you. You're probably not going to get time to see it. That's what I'm thinking. Like, is this something that can be done already? Is this something that would be easy to include in the future? But let Sophie actually talk to me as well as the business owner.
Yeah. So what we're doing is not only so at the moment you can set reminders and follow-ups where you can ask Sophie to remind you about things and she'll call you, text you, or email you.
Okay.
But we see it as Sophie almost like a assistant in your pocket where you can pick up and say, hey, Sophie, what have I got on for today? Or hey, Sophie, can you reschedule this appointment? And she'll just go and do it for you. But to go back, the question was around
her being able to phone me if there's something urgent.
Yeah, so she'll be able to notify you via phone call, text message, or email. That's not in at the moment.
Okay.
When it comes to the outbound, that was what we were talking about, the outbound calling. If it's following up unpaid invoices, she can do that. Things like where a lead comes through off your website and they want to be contacted straight away, she can actually call them back, within a couple of minutes and actually lock a time in for the job to be done or get more information about the job. So there are use cases where outbound is definitely viable, but we don't want to use it for cold calling because she could call 10,000 people a minute.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
so let's stay with that. So you mentioned invoices. I mean, a lot of people don't like phoning to collect their money, right? It's a thing. No one likes to phone and go, hey, Jacob, you owe me money. Pay now, I'm coming over, Is that something she currently can do? So she can phone and go, okay, how does that work? Is it a script or is she using some form of agentic like AI knowledge or so the phone rings, I answer and I go, hello, and she goes, it's Sophie from company X.
Yeah.
I'm just phoning, may I speak to your creditors department? Or how does that journey go? Like I'm trying to see it in my head because I think it's a brilliant use case.
Yeah, so you can set guidelines or parameters in a prompt.
Okay.
And you can tell her how you want her to follow up. And we plug into Xero.
Yep.
Soon to be a couple of other like MYOB and Invoice to Go. And she'll notice when something is overdue. And you can say to her and set like in the invoice settings, any invoice that's 7 days late or 3 days late or whatever it may be, I want you to either send a text message, email, or call, and she will do one of the ones you kind of ask her to do. So depending if she can do all three, or you can set like almost like a series, like set after 3 days, send a text message. After 7 days, call them and ask them politely to pay their invoice. And like I said, we're trying to eliminate as much of the admin from first inquiry through to final invoice for service-based businesses as possible. And that's obviously one of the things that people are requesting. It's one of our number one requested features is that invoice follow-up.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I know from owning my own businesses as well over the years, it's your lifeblood, right? And you can either be busy doing work or busy doing admin, but you can't be busy doing both. And that's unfortunately always that's the pain of most smaller but in fact it's probably the pain of a lot of big businesses too. They have to employ a lot of people to chase it. You mentioned earlier in the chat about rescheduling. So let's say I've called you.
Yeah.
And I've booked an appointment for you to come. I'm going to just stay with solar panels. I don't know why. I don't need to do it, but let's just stay there. So I've scheduled you to come next week, Wednesday, to do a solar panel. I've just realized now, can't do it. I call you to reschedule. Will she take care of that whole discussion over the phone, looking at your availability? And also, it's a double-pronged question. I have a problem. My kid's playing a soccer game that I want to go and watch.
Mm-hmm.
I tell Sophie to clear my diary. Will she then reach out to you and go, hey, Jacob, I'm so sorry, mate? Or is it just an email? What happens in that scenario?
Yeah. So the first part, if you ring up, she's going to know who you are based on your phone number. So she has memory. She know exactly what you spoke about last time.
In fact, you're so right. Sorry to cut you off. Yes. I tried to trick her on that because I phoned and I just said, she asked me, can I get your phone number? I said, well, it's the number I'm calling from. Those are the words that she recorded it. Like, I saw it in the dashboard. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. Okay. So you got that identifier, right?
Correct. And so she'll remember everything about the caller or the past experiences they've had. And you can reschedule at the moment and she will find that appointment and reschedule it for you. On the other side, when the tradesperson wants to reschedule, at the moment, that's not completely finished. It is being built at the moment.
Okay.
But obviously it comes back to like we're being customer led and letting the customers dictate to us what features they want next. And that is definitely on the list. It's being literally worked on at the moment, but it's probably still, I would say, 5-6 weeks away. And
Oh, that's not bad. I thought you were going to say 5-6 months away. Like
No,
5-6 weeks is fine.
No, we're building pretty quickly.
Okay. What are you envisaging that journey looking like, Jacob? Is that going to be a phone call, or is it just going to be an email that goes, "Hey, mate, I'm so sorry. Can we reschedule?"
It really depends on the business owner and what the business owner wants. So it could be a phone call, it could be a text message, it could be an email. If it's a phone call, they can work back and forth to find a time that suits not only yourself but also the customer. On top of that, the other thing is when it comes to scheduling, it's about smart scheduling and routing correctly. So if we're based on the Gold Coast, so if you've got a job in Surfers Paradise on Wednesday, and then I call up and I'm also based in Surfers Paradise, Sophiie will suggest, hey, why don't we get you in on Wednesday after the job, which reduces the amount of travel time for those businesses. Yeah.
And equally, when it comes to making an appointment, will she know that I'm in Surfers and you're phoning from Loganville, and there's no way I can get there in 10 minutes?
Yeah,
so
she'll know that as well. So she plugs into Google Maps through an integration, and she'll work out the travel time and actually place that travel time in between as well. And we also see it into the future when we release this app I was speaking about. It'll have geolocation. So if you're stuck in traffic and she knows that you're 25 minutes away from the appointment, and it's in 15 minutes time, she'll actually automatically text the customer and say, hey, just to let you know, I'm stuck in traffic, because it's based off the geolocation of the app, and say I'm going to be there 15 minutes later or whatever it may be, and keep the customer always updated, which is a massive problem.
That's
so
huge.
Not only are we solving the admin problem of a service-based business, but anyone that's dealt with a tradesperson before, I'm not all trades businesses, but some, they're not the best at following up or keeping you in the loop. So Sophiie will actually do that automatically for you and let the customer know what's happening as well.
I got done for driving and using my phone many years ago for that exact reason. I was running late. And I needed to find the phone number of the person. I didn't have them in my contacts. So I had to look for an email, because it's always in the signature at the bottom. So I was like on my phone looking for a signature to find the phone number. I found the phone number, I phoned the person, I said, and I was on a car. This is the irony, right? I was on a car kit and everything that I was supposed to be doing, but I needed to touch the phone to find that number to make that call. I think the job was probably only worth half of what the fine was that I copped for that. You know?
Well, Sophiie solves that for you.
Yeah, there we go.
Again.
Yeah, so I mean that's really cool. So I'm just conscious of time as well. Take me through the onboarding process, because mine was a little bit different. We did a little bit of prep in that before the show, so that I could get really look under the hood and see some of the tech. So at least I knew what I was talking about today when we chatted. I've just watched the TechKnowledgy show and heard about Sophiie. That's SophieAI.ai. I've gone to the website. What happens now?
So there's a few ways. You can obviously sign up or register for an account, and she'll take you through a process and set you up with a very basic bot.
Okay.
Or the second way is you can receive a call from Sophiie. You put your details in, and you can have a conversation with Sophiie and find out a bit more about how she works and what she can do for your business. From there, our team will call you.
Okay.
And once you do decide that you want to come on board, it's about a 15-minute onboarding call at the moment. Soon to be with Sophiie, but at the moment it's with a human. We're just training her on all that at the moment. And then we will go off and create that. It takes us about a day or so to come back with you with a complete bot. But the end of this week, I'm hoping for, the start of next week. It really depends on the tech team. We're releasing a Train Sophiie module completed, where it'll actually allow you to train Sophiie completely by yourself. So all the scenarios,
that's cool.
All your tags, all your outcomes, all the services, all your products, the prices, everything like that, you'll be able to go through and actually make changes. And then you'll be able to test Sophiie on the dashboard. And if you want to make changes, you can go in there and say, actually say it like this or say it like that. So hopefully the end of this week, if not the start of next week, we'll be launching that.
So August, if worst case scenario, you've got a launch there. And then, I mean, price wise, is that on the website? Is that something you want to chat about? Does it depend on the business?
It depends on the business and how many calls. On average, it's about $300 a month.
For a full assistant.
Assistant, but that's all your calls, text messages, emails. We are looking at changing the model, and the reason we did the $300 a month is because it's easy to forecast, if I'm being honest with you,
Okay.
as being a traditional SaaS model. But if you look at AI and AI products and the way they're going, it's going to be, and I think SaaS is going to be completely disrupted. AI is it's more about how much you use it.
Yeah.
So, for example, for a small business that has 50 AI outcomes, it'll be X. And for a larger business that has 2,000 outcomes, it'll be Y.
Yep.
So it'll scale with the business depending on the size of the business. Well, it'll obviously depend on how much it costs. And also it'll scale when the business is busy, or the business is, or it'll scale down when the business is quiet. So look at an air conditioning expert. In summer, they're really busy. You know, they're going to be using it more.
Yep.
They'll pay more. In winter, when they quieten down, they're not as busy and they don't have as much revenue coming in. They won't have to pay as much. So it'll scale and kind of decrease with the amount of work that it does.
Well, I mean, for the actual business owner or the user, that's awesome, because
Yeah.
there is nothing worse than paying for something when you're not using it. It's great when you're paying too little for something
Yeah.
and getting the benefit of it. But as you said, if you take any AI model, we talk about tokens and, you know, a number of credits.
Yeah.
The words change, but it all means the same thing. Even cloud-based servers, right? If you're on an AWS, you should be akin to the
Exactly.
fact that the more traffic that goes through your server, the more you pay.
Yeah.
I just want to go back to that setting up automatically. What happens if you have multiple businesses? Do you need to have multiple Sophies, or can you? Because this is not something I tried. I mean, so sitting here with the We Love group, right? We've got like 14 companies within our various groups in that, but we all run autonomously. You know, I head up We Love Marketing, but we've got We Love Bookkeeping. But it would be nice if I could control that in the same environment. I'd hate to have 14 Sophies. You know, is that possible? Does that get controlled, or do we need 14 Sophies?
Well, with the businesses, if they're very different, then you'll have to have different agents effectively, because the way that you train them.
That makes sense.
You know, I mean, you technically you could have multiple, you know, businesses in one.
Yeah.
But we do have it where you'll have multiple branches or something like that.
Okay.
And then you'll have an account, and then you can switch between the branches and see what's happening in what branch. But for multiple businesses that do different things, you can have one account and multiple agents, but you will have to flick between the agents.
But that's okay. Would you be able to see it though? So what I'm getting at is, although we've got multiple companies,
yeah,
a lot of the people, take myself, I'm across all the companies because I'm doing marketing. So I might need to do marketing for the accounting firm, but then the next day I need to do marketing for our legal document firm.
Yeah.
But it's still my same schedule, right? I'm only available so many hours in a day.
Yeah.
Hopefully Michael's not listening anymore. Michael, I'm only available so many hours in a day. He works like 24/7. That's why I'm laughing. But would I be able to see all that in the same
You could connect your
schedule,
calendar.
but having, you know, the different journeys and the different bots doing it?
Yeah, you could connect your calendar to multiple different agents.
That's what I think what I was trying to get to, as
Yeah.
opposed to, I understand you need to have different journeys because they're different things and different services, but I don't want to run 14 different dashboards to go and see where my calendar, and more importantly, I do work across them. So I need to be able to share my calendar.
Yeah.
I assume the Google Calendar would solve that anyway, though, right? If I
Correct.
used a Gmail or an Outlook calendar and I shared that with that was my last question I was going to ask on that. Let's say I work for my company, but I contract to your company.
Mhm.
Would I be able to share the same calendar with you as I do with me? And would the Sophies not get confused? If you haven't done this, that's fine. I'm just spitballing, right?
I'm just trying to think of. Because every individual within an organization will have their own account.
Yeah.
Because, say, for transfers or for notifications, like when it comes back to notifications, if a marketing call comes through, or a marketing email, or a marketing inquiry,
Yep.
The sales team and the support team don't want to know about that inquiry. So you'll only be notified about it because you're in marketing.
Right.
Whereas if it's a support ticket, or it's a technical issue, it'll be the technical team that find out about it, not the marketing team.
Yep.
So every individual person in the business will have their own Sophiie account, and it's tailored to their role within the business.
Got you.
Yeah. It's probably the best way to describe it.
Yeah, no.
Same with like features and things like that, transfers, like warm transfers. When it comes to transferring a call, I want to speak to the sales team or I want to speak to the technical team. Sophiie will know who to transfer it to, based on what account is set up for what kind of purpose.
I mean, I think I'm trying to solve a problem that would probably only present 0.5% of the time, right? It's just the scenario that I work in here is quite unique because I do work, and I mean, our CEO as well, he works across every part of the business.
Yeah.
But he obviously only has one calendar, and we use Teams and Microsoft, so it's
fully integratable. Yep.
I hate Microsoft. I'm an Apple boy, but
so do I.
Yeah, so we use Microsoft, but my calendar is shared with everyone. Now, if I had two Sophies, because one for this group and one for that group, how would Sophiie know when I'm available if I haven't shared the Microsoft account?
Well, she wouldn't. That's why you'd use Microsoft or Google Calendar or as your source of truth, and then you would plug the two agents into that, and then
so that would work then, right?
Yeah, that would work if you had an Outlook or Google. But if you didn't have them connected and you had two individual calendars set up in Sophiie,
then it wouldn't know.
They wouldn't speak to each other.
But there's a workaround straight away. So as long as I put my external calendar in, it will share it with the same, with the two agents. Then I'm fine.
Then it'll work.
Okay, then I'm creating a problem that doesn't exist. So that's fine. Because we would always use, even in HubSpot, we use HubSpot in the group. We would still use our Microsoft calendar as our calendar, not the HubSpot calendar.
Yeah, but it integrates into still integrates into HubSpot.
Yeah.
And that's how most organizations do it. So they'll have a CRM and they'll have an Outlook or a Google Calendar or whatever as the source of truth.
Yep.
And if you had HubSpot on one side, Google Calendar in the middle, and Sophiie on the other, whatever happens on Google Calendar and feeds back out to HubSpot and Sophiie. So you don't get those clashes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any other questions from my side. I mean, I said I've been playing now for probably close to a month. I think it's been roughly a month. I haven't put it through full paces, obviously. I mean, I'm not a tradie, so I was like creating scenarios to see. But I mean, I can just think now. Even my wife's business. She's a beautician.
Yeah, she works for beauticians.
I was going to say she's busy working with a client. She can't answer her phone.
Yeah,
she's doing a facial or wax or whatever it is that they do.
Exactly.
I should probably know this, but yes, whatever they do. It's hairdressers, mate. Like all the trades and professional services. Yeah,
hair and beauty services, trade services. Basically any service-based businesses. We are staying away from medical as much as it's a great kind of vertical, but there's also certain laws around that, like with patient privacy.
Well, who was it? Hot Doc, I think, got themselves into a lot of trouble with that. There was a company, I think, in Perth or something. There was a leak on data, or the data shared. It was a nightmare. It's just
so we're kind of steering a little bit. We early on we did take on some medical, and there's also so many kind of risks involved with medical, which we don't really want to play.
We're in the financial business. We've also got to be careful.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, the reference to NVIDIA shares, as a disclaimer, I'm not a financial services provider. That wasn't recommendation to go and invest. Do not invest based on what I'm saying with regards to. So yeah, I got another one that came through here. So I can put that up on the screen. Tried Sophiie the other day. Tried to trick it by talking fast, but was 100% accurate. A pleasure to dealing with inaccurate humans when it comes to data. So there we go.
Yeah.
So
she can also speak in about 140 languages as well.
Oh, that's cool. What about the South African accent? Because Siri can't even get that right. Mind you, she's been pretty good with me.
Yeah.
She's been pretty good with me.
Siri's an interesting one.
Siri sucks.
Siri does suck.
She does suck.
When it comes to accents, it's funny because I've been playing in this field now for probably 18 months, which is like a long time in the voice AI space. And I've seen it from what it was to what it is now. And like, if that's what it is now, I'm only like in the next 12 months,
it's going to be insane.
It's going to be insane. So better than any human, and be able to understand any accent or anything like that. At the moment, she's pretty good with accents. But we can also put in there, if she detects accents, you can ask her, hey, if you'd like, I can speak in your native language. So we've got an immigration law firm that, obviously they have different people calling up all the time. she can detect an accent and say, if you like, I can speak in any language. And then she can convert it back into English for the business owner to understand what the call was about.
Well, you're right, because there was a transcript. There was a recording and the transcript in my dashboard as well, so I could actually read the summary. I knew straight away this was to buy X solar panels.
Yeah.
Is there anything else from your side, Jacob? Just before we wrap up, website I've shared. It's sophie.ai.
Yeah. If you have a service-based business or you want to know more, obviously check us out online, or you can also get in touch with me on LinkedIn, Jacob Banks. But yeah, I think that's everything. I think we covered most things.
Awesome. Well, thank you. Thanks for joining the show. Really great to have you here. I think, given the time, I don't have any time to look at Q&A. So I think that's just going to take us to the end of the show. So until next time, keep your screens clean and your knobs shiny.